Today we're going to be analyzing chess in the 12 chairs. There was a simultaneous exhibition on 30 boards, but luckily for me, only 6 of those were visible. So, the main character, Ostap Bender, pretending to be a grandmaster, is playing a bunch of amateurs. But actually, he only plays chess for the second time in his life. As previously stated, most of the games weren't shown on screen, unless you count the openings. Ostap started all games with e4, and what's weirder, all of the opponents responded e5, ignoring the Sicilian, French, or whatever. As we were told, the Ruy Lopez was played on 18 boards, and on the other 12, and I quote, the old but decent Philidor defense. Of course, you all know how the Spanish looks like, but the Philidor protects the pawn by d6. It's fine if black likes a passive gameplay, although white can attack like in the modern defense and have an advantage. Plus, the bishop is never getting out easily. But what about the continuations? Well, we know that Ostap played terribly and blundered pieces, which scared his opponents as they thought these were some kind of high-level sacrifices by a grandmaster.
He sacrificed the queen. What do I do now?
And this is the first position not from the opening that I was able to recreate. I'm not quite sure, but you will get the idea from this. By the way, here we see our grandmaster placing the knight out, which leads me to a conclusion that he just took it with the queen. But is this position realistic? Yes, it is! By the way, the answer to the amateur's question is you don't take the queen. You go check and mate on g2 is unstoppable. The second position looks like this with black to play. White's situation is horrible. There are 2 mates in one, knight g2, and the move that was actually played, knight d3, checkmate. Again, it's realistic. Maybe black's advantage is a little too much. But let's move on. And we got the best angle, so with 100% certainty, we get this result. Here black plays queen d3. Wow, black pieces are the definition of teamwork makes the dream work. Again, the game ends on d3. This position raises more questions. This pawn has come a long way. Additionally, black's material advantage is absolutely massive. All of their pieces are alive. It looks like an element of comedy, and I'm going to stick to that. And their bishops are of different colors. Here it's already checkmate, and again, white played like Rubik's Cube, a 2x2 version. But it's actual mate. So let's go over to the next 2 situations, which are pretty similar. On both boards, white has a pawn. It's mate from far away, and there's nothing to talk about. There was also a famous game against the One-Eyed Man which ended with this board throw, but the angles were horrible. Here Ostap Bender wants to win at least one game, so he steals a rook. We only see half the board, and this knight move happens and the rook lift. Then the angle changes, so does the position, and we see this. Considering what we saw here already, it's great. Also here a famous phrase was born.
Where's my rook? Did you win it?
Yes.
On which move?
On the 15th.
All of them I've written down.
As for my grade, I can't get over the huge material advantage, even though the bishops are of different colors, and it seems like they just played 6 games taking out the white pieces. For all of the reasons above, I'm giving it a 3, with a big plus. Subscribe so I update the channel banner. See you later.